Hi everyone, I'm Dr. Lynn Wagner and you are listening to The Wealthy Life. Today's episode is going to be about sleep tools and gadgets. So there are a lot of the things that we can purchase, we can ingest, we can put on our bodies that are going to help us sleep better. And I'm going to talk about as many of them as I can. One thing to know is you would never do all of these, especially with drugs, obviously, because it could be dangerous. And you definitely don't need to do all of these things. You just want to check in and be like, okay, yeah, this is a problem and this might make that problem better. So this is something I want to invest in. So we'll talk about all these things. The first thing I want to talk about is sleep gadgets. So in a previous video, I talked about sleep trackers like the Oura Ring or the Whoop Band. Those are a solid investment if A, you don't sleep well, B, you have low energy, or if you're just a biohacker and you want to make sure you have perfect sleep scores. They give you so much information, it's fairly accurate, and it definitely will help you make meaningful changes in your lifestyle if your sleep scores are off, and it will give you advice on what to do. So those things are excellent. We also talked about alarm clocks. So ideally, it's best to wake naturally. That's not reality for most of us. So either using a calm, soothing tone on your phone or whatever alarm you're using, or even better, getting something like a sunrise alarm clock. So those are alarm clocks that mimic natural sunrise. So it's going to be a really nice, natural way to wake up if you do need some type of an alarm to get up. We also talked about using blue blocking glasses. In the previous video I mentioned in the evening hours, so I just purchased my own pair of Roku glasses. So after sunset every night, I'm going to be wearing those when I'm on my computer, if I'm watching TV, just to block out those blue rays that are affecting my sleep quality. So blue blocking glasses. Another thing that I've really loved is red or amber light bulbs. So I've replaced my nightstand lamps with the red light bulbs, and I find that it's very, very soothing. If for some reason a bright light is turned on in the evening, it actually feels kind of toxic to me now. So it definitely has made a big difference, and I feel it's really soothing, and they're super cheap on Amazon. So red or amber light bulbs. A white noise machine. So when we got our dog Mari, which is about a year and a half ago, she was in our bedroom with us when she was a puppy, and she whined a lot, and I was like, dude, you can't affect my sleep. So I learned how to use a noise machine. I just used one on my phone and then did it with a Bluetooth speaker. Really cool. So if you have a partner that snores, if you have traffic outside, if you have a fan that's loud or an air conditioner that's loud, using a white noise sound app or a machine is going to be a great investment to help kind of like block out that noise and help you sleep better. I have not used this before, but weighted blankets, some people absolutely love them. So they just get that calming feeling just by having a little bit of weight on them. So those are a good thing to try if you feel really anxious and stressed in the evening. Blackout curtains or an eye mask. So my bedrooms are fairly bright, and I bought a very nice silk sleep mask that I used to make fun of people who wore them, and now I am religious about wearing them every night, and it is amazing. So those nice silky sleep masks are really nice. You want to get a better quality one, because I've used the cheap ones too, and the Velcro gets caught on your hair and it's not as comfortable. So you really want to get something that feels comfortable on your face, and it makes a big difference. Other bonus things you can do would be getting a grounding mat. So I did have a grounding mattress pad for a while. I felt that I got too hot because it has to be fairly close to your skin. So I took that off, but I regularly ground naturally outside every day. You can also get mats that you lay on at home, or you can get mats that you put under your feet while you work. You can even get little pads that you rest your hands on while you're working on the computer. But grounding is a really, really nice sleep gadget and overall health gadget to use, fairly inexpensive. And then earplugs. So if you're someone who has a partner who snores, which is many of us, earplugs are amazing. Not for everyone, but if you find that that's the only thing that can block out that noise, it's a great thing to do, and obviously not expensive at all. Next, let's talk about sleep supplements. So I'm just going to talk about my favorite ones, the ones that we use widely at Wagner Integrative Health. As I get into talking about supplements and I start talking about medications especially, usually you're going to be wanting to work with a functional or integrative medicine provider who has education on these supplements, because there can be drug-to-drug interactions, there can be contraindications to their use. Just because it's a supplement and it's natural doesn't mean it doesn't have side effects and it won't interact with other things. So you want to work with someone who can kind of perfect your cocktail. My favorite sleep supplements are things like magnesium glycinate. That's going to give you nice muscle relaxation. I do feel that most people should be on magnesium every day, and that's a great one to take at bedtime. My top recommended ones are a combination of theanine, which is an amino acid, and GABA, which is an inhibitory neurotransmitter. So that little stack is incredible for sleep. I take that every single night. And the nice thing about theanine is it's not going to actually make you tired. It just slows your racing mind. So if you wake up at 2 in the morning and you're worried about being able to get up early enough for work, you can pop a theanine at 2 in the morning and it's just going to kind of slow your mind down. Melatonin I use for short-term resets. So if I have a kid who's been scrolling social media and they just need to learn how to reset their brain, we'll do a short period of melatonin. If you're traveling, if you're crossing time zones, so I would say melatonin is best for more periodic use. There's controversy over that one. There are providers who feel that high-dose melatonin every day is really good for you. I'm tending to be not in that camp at this point in time. Another thing I like, which is for when I really, really need to get sleep and the theanine and the GABA are not working, is CBD with Delta-9. So we sell a product here that has both CBD and Delta-9. You don't want to take that early in the night because you might feel a little goofy. So there are some altering effects to it. But if you just take it right before bedtime, it will zonk you out. Very similar to a sleep drug. So that's what I go to if everything else isn't working. And then you'll see other products that are combo products, and they might have chamomile, lemon balm, valerian root, California poppy. In my experience, I have not recommended those because when I did in the past, they didn't seem to work as well. So the supplements I mentioned before that tend to be better and stronger than those sleep combos that you see. But everyone's different. If you have that at home and you want to try it, if you already take it and it works, if you drink sleepy time tea and that's perfect for you, just find what works for you. But again, work with a doctor. And then lastly, let's talk about sleep medications. So for resistant cases, or if someone's going through a really hard time, a trauma, they have a physical illness or pain that is affecting their sleep quality, that is when I go to medications. And some of the medications as physicians that we use include things like the benzodiazepines like Ativan, Valium, lorazepam. They are not recommended for long-term use or to be taken nightly because some studies have shown some adverse health outcomes if they are used every day. But in a pinch and someone's really struggling, I will give them one of those medications, and they do work well. Hydroxyzine is a medication that's commonly used for anxiety, also can be used for sleep. If you're someone that isn't sleeping because you're anxious, that's a medication we use. People take over-the-counter Benadryl. I'm not a huge fan of that one. I think there's better options, and also chronic daily use of that has been associated with adverse health outcomes, so it's not recommended that that's taken nightly. And there are a lot of people out there who take it every night. They take Tylenol PM or Advil PM, not realizing that they might be harming themselves in the long run. So, but if you need to use it every once in a while, totally fine. And then there's the hard hitters like Lunesta or Ambien. Those ones are pretty wacky. People can do some pretty crazy stuff on them. I personally used to take Ambien back when I was working in the emergency room because I would have to constantly be switching my wake-sleep schedule, working night shifts, getting sleep before a shift. Those we tend to stay away from as much as possible unless all the other ones haven't worked. We don't want people waking up in the middle of the night and eating a pint of ice cream, which can very commonly happen, or worse. And then I would say the most commonly prescribed prescription medication that I use for sleep is a drug called trazodone. So it's actually a really old school antidepressant, but it was found to really help people with sleep. So when I have those, let's say a woman who's menopausal and we're doing everything for her hormones, but she's just still not getting good sleep, that's one that we'll add in. Very few side effects, can be used safely long term, and it works beautifully. Again, work with a doctor if you're going to use any of the sleep medications for sure, and I strongly advise it if you're going to start dabbling in supplements, unless you're doing something simple like magnesium. But it's always best to run it by a doctor, one who's trained in supplements. So you're going to want to go to an integrator or functional medicine doctor to get the lowdown. And then remember, there's no gadget or pill that replaces your natural rhythm. So if you are, not honoring normal rhythms of your body, you're not getting sunlight, you're not exercising, you're not eating healthy, all those things, and your sleep is disrupted, that's probably where you should focus first. Sleep supplements, medications, they can be used like in a pinch, but really you want to focus on those day-to-day lifestyle practices because that's what's going to give you long-standing, healthy, good sleep. So there's no gadget or pill that will replace your healthy lifestyle. Build a sleep-supportive lifestyle and use these tools to enhance, not replace the basics. With that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and we will talk again soon.